Um, Good evening, everyone, and I hope I am audible. If I'm audible, please give me a thumbs up, just to confirm that you can hear me. I know you can't see me, but I believe you can hear me. Just confirm that I am audible. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining today's session. I am going to start, and as we do so, I'd like you to pay attention and follow through as we journey tonight on this session. So tonight we are going to cover this topic that is displayed on the screen, Mastering the Art of Business Planning. And you're all welcome once again. I'd want to urge all of you, if you are able to share this word with your friends, please go ahead and share it. You can do a post on your status. Do a post on your status and invite them. I have shared the link to this meeting on the chat box. So please copy the link and share it out to 2 or 3 people and let them join in. Yes. I believe you can see my screen. So basically, I'll give a brief intro of what Telespark Digital is and why it exists. And then I will proceed to invite the speaker in the next 3 minutes. So a brief intro about us is that Telespark Digital is a forward-thinking digital solutions agency dedicated to helping startups, SMEs, and any person who is out there doing business or conducting any initiative that is aimed at impacting the society and so on and so forth. So we are targeting such individuals to help them build and grow their brands. Within Telespark Digital, we have a wing that we have come up with and is called Telespark Academy. And this session is actually powered by Telespark Academy, which is our training and learning wing. Basically, we train, equip the youth, business people, entrepreneurs with digital skills, tech skills, business skills, and leadership skills so that they grow into competent professionals and astute business people who are able to find their place in the market and compete favorably. So that is why we have the academy, and that's the reason why we have put together this session that we're having today. So without taking much time, I'll proceed to invite our speaker so that she can present to us. Our speaker today is called Nancy Moire, and she's a seasoned strategic communications officer with expertise in public relations, diplomacy, and entrepreneurship. She holds a bachelor's in applied communication, an advanced diploma in strategic public relations, and she's currently pursuing a master's in international relations and diplomacy. She has published articles on conflict and diplomacy and is a member of PRSK and IRSK. Her email address is displayed on the screen. She's going to take us through our topic of today, and please be attentive, and I know we will learn a lot. So Nancy, please welcome on the mic and talk to us. Let's put our hands together as we usher in our speaker. Let me see your hands jamming together. Let's put hands together for her. She takes on the mic. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Welcome.
A very good evening. Please confirm to me if you all can get me so well. Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. So we want to tackle a business plan, which to me, business plan is actually the backbone. It's perhaps a transition stage from what you have in mind to how you put it into practice. And a good business plan can carry you too far. But if you have a poor business plan, you can fumble in within. But a key thing to note that after coming out with a business plan, you should remain focused into it because discipline is of a great virtue in terms of business, and therefore you have to stick to it. So, a business plan, or formally, is a written document that outlines a company's goals, the strategy for achieving them, and the time for their accomplishment. So, time frame is also key here, the goals and the strategies. So, the 3 points that we're supposed to note in this is goals, strategies, and timeline. And is my wish that by the end of the session, we shall have a clear picture of what these 3 goals are. So as we move forward into the next structure, the slide. Next slide. The next slide should be components of a business. Components of a business plan. Entirely, components of a business plan should be 8. But the last one we deliberately leave it out because it depends with your purpose of why you need this particular business plan is what will determine what you are doing, or rather what you're going to do with this business plan. So this is entirely what we're going to tackle, the components of the business plan. We shall tackle them in details as we continue. So some we shall just tackle it briefly so that you can just have a brief of what it is, but some we shall go in depth because it's what entails what you're going to do, the actual business. So the executive summary, majorly in your business plan, you only introduce your mission, goal, location, and key figures. But mission is very, very key because mission is what will carry you throughout. Your mission should be catchy enough. A very, very good mission will carry you through. So as we can see, you clearly indicate the mission of the business, and it should be simple, and you should avoid ambiguous words. If we can give an example, Think Twice is a retail business that sells second-hand clothes, but their mission is very convincing because if you can check their mission, only I just took the first line of their mission that says to make a second hand the first option. That statement is enough to plead with you that you should buy. So, and I thought of also coming up with one so that if you're selling a second-hand clothes, what should you consider? So, if you can check to give every great item a second life. So, someone will say, if I'm taking the second option things, it's not just a waste. It's giving it a second life. Like it should be, it should carry the message home, and that is what should drive your entire purpose, because in whatever thing you're going to do, you think of your mission and the goal, because the goal outline the businesses, and it should be realistic, because in as much as you have the ultimate goal, depending with your timeline, you should start small. So you start with for example, if you have a business plan that should carry you all through to the 5 years ahead, depending with the size of the organization, because generally business plan should have up to 3 years maximum, and maybe 2 years, depending with how big the organization is. And again, that one will also be determined with the purpose it serves, because some we can choose to have a business plan that majorly is for a guiding purposes. Some we can choose to have a business plan that seeks funds or grants. Like it's an overview of what gives you what you have. So the goal is key, and the goal can make you be on top of the game, because it's going also to plead with maybe the whoever is going to give you the grants or loan to give the business. So if you consider having a strong goal, and therefore you should remain focused onto it, you should be disciplined onto it. The goal can be an ultimate goal, maybe it should be realized upon 5 years to come, but you have to start small. You have to go in bits. And in terms of location, you should also clearly define whether it's physical or online, so that people know purely if I want this. Some do a blend of the two. So we know it's physical, but if I need it online, depending with the evolution of the world today, online is really, really getting hard on us. So we are supposed to also take note of that. So having aligned that, what we should include into the executive summary in depth like that. And then again, you also include your key figures, of which we shall see that as we continue. What do you need to include in your company overview? After giving us the executive summary, we've understood your mission, we've understood your location, we've understood your goal. What are you going to include? What are you going to include onto your company overview? And then this one is also very key. This one is also very key, as the company overview is the beginning of it all. Like, for example, a company overview entails the legal structure of the business. You have to choose which legal structure you're going to use in your business. A company should also have a model. A company should also have a model of the particular model you are going to use in that company. And then the mission statement, of course, you also have to going to mention it again. Yeah. So we can just mention a little bit about the legal structure of this business. In Kenya today, we have legal, that is the limited business, and the enterprise. But according to the Business Act 2015 Cap 486, this one was limited completely, because initially we could see that some businesses were named so-and-so business enterprise. But upon that act into implementation, that one was stopped. So until to date, we are using the legal businesses. So we're only remaining with the legal business, limited business and the business name. So when you're registering for a business name particular means you're using one, like you are offering one particular product entirely. So for example, when you're selling meat in Nairobi, when you register the business name under selling of meat, you can be allowed also to sell meat in Kisumu under the same business name, but with a different business permit, because now it's a different locality. But if you register for business limited, like for example, let's say Nancy Supplies Limited. Let's use that hypothetically. Nancy Supplies Limited, the word limited allows me to do business nationwide with, like I can do all sorts of business, but I'll have also to have the permit. But if I have many branches with the same business name, that is Nancy Supplies Limited, I'll be required to register what we call a head office. So this head office, all these other branches will work together under the head office. So since 2015, people moved from the enterprise businesses that were allowing people to move freely, and then it started restricting upon the business name that allows you to sell one particular product entirely. But the business limited, it allows you to do it nationwide, but with a different structure in it. Again, in business limited, it's also different. It is also different in that when you have a limited business, it's a legal process that when the business registered, when there is a crisis, your companies, like the assets of the company is what will be used as the guarantors of that particular company. But just a minute. Yeah, when you use it, you are allowed to, like Nancy Supplies Limited, when I registered it like that, and therefore in future I incur some crisis, then that means that the company will sort itself. But there is another type of business that when you register, that means that I'm not protected. So if I'm not protected, that means that the property of the individual can also be used, or rather can be confiscated to cater for the crisis that is pending at that. I hope that's well understood. So if you check on the business models, the business varieties of business model can be used depending on the businesses. So we have different varieties like business to business. This is a type of a model that is used. Business to business, for example, I'm supplying to someone who is also going to sell. That's one type of a business model. I'll only mention the common ones. There is another one we called business to consumer, where I supply to a retail shop that is going to sell it to the end user. And then consumer to consumer, this majorly is like the online brokers in between. For example, I buy something from you with an intention of going to sell it somewhere. So depending with your aim in the business will determine what kind of model you're going to use. Those are the key basic one. B2B, you've frequently heard people using the word B2B. We have B2C and C2C, as I've mentioned. And we have the other ones like the subscription model. The subscription model, majorly it's service-based. This is whereby you get some services at a fee. Like you subscribe, you pay a fee for some services. And maybe freemium model whereby you get the basic ones, then you later pay to continue using that particular service. For example, Saizi, we have some movies, online movies, for example, the Drama Box and the Real Shots, maybe the Netflix is also there. They can give you seasons, movie seasons up until maybe season 10. Then from season 10 up until 100, you have to you have to pay for you to continue watching the seasons. That's also another model. And then there is another model that is majorly the location based, the marketplace. You also should indicate it so clearly in your business plan which model you're going to use. Where are we going to find you? That's what basically entails in the marketplace model. Yeah, actually, that's the company overview. You take note of the business model, the legal structure of it, the mission statement I've stated up there, and the goals. Yes, as we proceed, another key component in business is the products and the services you want to offer. What products do you actually want to offer, and what can you consider in choosing this kind of products you want to offer? Services and products and services, the skills tentatively remain the same, but how you do it, your demeanor as a person can vary. And therefore, the key thing that always drives the product is the interests. Why are you choosing this particular business? Is the interest that I have. So what do we consider when we are choosing the products or the services? So in terms of product, you check your interest, and that also applies to the services. Where is my interest? Because when you have the interest, it's also a motivating factor, an inbuilt motivating factor that will carry you a long way. So when you have an interest about something, when you're so much fascinated about doing it, regardless of the challenges you're going to face, you will still have that energy to push you to carry along. So another thing you should also to consider when in which one you want to offer with the product or service is the market gap, or rather the market niche. this is where you've identified that this particular location, they lack this kind of service. For example, maybe an apartment, for example, let's say Syokimau. And then in Syokimau, if you happen to be within the Great Wall, it's majorly apartments up there. So assume you're in such a locality and maybe they lack school, maybe there is no hospital, maybe there is no good eateries down there. What do? That's a market, the gap that you can wish to bridge so that you get. So when you choose to bridge such a gap, you are sure that there is no stiff competition because after all, you are the one within there. Another key thing you're supposed to consider before settling which one to offer is the target audience. How are my audiences? You have to understand your audiences so well. You have to understand your audiences so well that you will be able to know what they need at what particular point. Now, as you proceed with the components of business plan, when you're trying to look at the market analysis, which is also key, the market analysis as you try to write, or rather to structure your business plan. And in market analysis, you can do it in 3 deep stages. We have the initial stage, we have the planning and execution stage, and we have the implementation stage. According to the screen you're just seeing, it's written market trends, market gap, and customers' needs. Customers' needs, as we've tackled it up or Jew, it's the same with the target audiences. You'll be able to understand them, what do they need, and how is the market changing. If the market changes, that simply means that the needs of your particular customers are also changing because things are evolving. For example, you cannot have a shop that offers clothes near purely a maternity hospital. The key audiences there are maternity mothers and maybe newborn babies. So what can work well there maybe are the baby shops. And if you are near a university and therefore your target audiences are the university students, therefore you can have a good middle-aged women clothes being sold around there. So in market trends, number one, in market trends, when you're checking the market trend, you're supposed to understand your industry. How is this business changing? Like the longevity of this business you are yet to settle down. How fast does it change? If you understand your market strategy, the industry trends rather, will give you a good way of even pricing your products, because you understand if the other person is offering it at 1,000, then I can offer it at slightly below 999. Then you understand it so well. So then, what I mentioned initially about the initial stages, the planning and execution, and the post implementation is after settling into the market and you've done it so well, then you give yourself a timeline, because business plan is all about timeline. Maybe in the first 2 months, you sell this first stock, then you should analyze how is the market, how fast were these things sold, how fast were these goods sold. So upon analyzing this, then you can identify that you can compare the capital in the returns realized. Then you also compare the challenges you encounter, so that into your next bulk of stock, you know where to adjust and what to drop after understanding your market. Because if you understand your market so well, trust me, that you will be able to meander around with these challenges you're yet to encounter. And therefore, you are also in designing your business plan, you should also leave room for disappointment. Because if you be too rigid into the entire process, you will not be able to understand how these things are moving, and therefore it calls for a great resilience into this, so that you have nose for news, if I can use that term. You have nose for news that you understand. At this particular moment, this changed, at this moment, this. Therefore, I need to adjust in that I keep into pace with how market is changing. Alongside market analysis, very closely, it's marketing strategy and scales. Marketing and sales strategy. If you have a deep, well-analyzed market industry and you have a good marketing sales strategy, it's going to help you and it's going to make you understand how the market is moving. So marketing approaches, sales tactics, and pricing strategies. Marketing approaches is how your business reaches and attracts the target audiences through the right channels and messaging. If you are offering, if you have a shop for selling clothes and it's based in Nairobi, na umeweka hapo online and tell people that I'm offering this kind of products, and therefore you should also let us know, because some people can ask, do you have a physical shop? For those who are so much skeptical about accepting this online thing, you should be able to address. So upon that, when you will be doing your market analysis in the first encounter of the business, after doing it, you'll be able to know. Many people inquire about the physical location. Should I have a physical location somewhere? And what was the response of the online customers? So you'll be able to know where you focus so much according to the responses as you read and understand your customers. So sales tactics in marketing and strategy is also key. Depending on the product or services you offer, you are also supposed to understand which kind of sales tactics goes with what kind of business. And therefore, it's purely marketing here. How do I do my marketing? And which approach that if I use, I'll reach majorly my target audiences. For example, your target audiences are maybe university students after having a shop a nearby university. Therefore, what should you use? You can use the online platforms, so that, because these people are the energetic people, the agile people that interact with social media every now and then, you make sure that you market it through the platform towards the direction of your target audiences. And what we should also understand is that we have something called unique value proposition or after sales services. This one will carry you a long way, and this is what will show me why I should choose shop A or shop B, or rather service A vis-a-vis to service C, is because how you as the shopkeeper there is handling me as a client. And when you are doing that, there is something we called personal selling. How you smile. I was told when I was doing this kind of courses, we are told that it's all about your smile. Your smile can even cool down the temper of a very angry customer. If you smile, it will welcome me and I'll share what I want so that you'll be able to understand. So after sales services simply means you follow up. For example, if you've been to Penda Hostels, they do a follow-up calls, by the way, and ask you how are the drugs doing. That will make me choose Penda vis-a-vis to another hospital. If you've been to Optica Services, if you go there, after 2 months of giving you glasses, they can wash for you, they can change the wipers, they can change the cases of the glasses. So those are the things you are able to do to attract more customers. They're called after sales services. What do you do that will make me come back to you? Or you're type of a client that I come back with a complaint, you don't care and you don't consider, and that will make clients run away from you. So if you put it so well, and you also check on the unique value proposition, which simply refers to the unique benefits a company is offering to another client, you'll be able to go so well. And if you're doing market analysis and strategy, you are also supposed to check the pricing strategy, which pricing strategy is majorly done in 3 ways. There is what we call market leadership, price leadership. There is what we call price beating, and there is what we call price matching. Price matching, as an new upcoming business, you simply get into the business with the same prices that the other competitors has. Price beating is what I mentioned earlier, that if the common market price of a product is 1,200, therefore mine will go at 11.99. That is price beating. So a customer can consider saving 1 bob and come to you rather than going to a 1,200 price shop and incur mad. Because business is all about me as a consumer. My greatest concern is I want this particular service or a product and save as much as I can. So you should also be wise enough to see, why is the other one doing this? Why is the other one doing this? Therefore, if I'm in the middle here, I'm going to do a price beating. And the last thing is price leadership. Price leadership, then you are not supposed to complain about the client traffics, because price leadership is quite hard. For example, Samsung. And price leadership needs a well-orchestrated brand into the public domain, so that you're going to sell the brand, and the brand itself will carry along the price leadership. So when Safaricom set its pace into the market, it was something that it turned out a very high-profiled business that makes Samsung's phone to be so expensive. So when you're targeting your price leadership, then you are in for a big, serious business, because you are not to complain at any point of how things are moving, but rather your main focus is setting a standard. It's majorly a standard. Why I'll go? So easy online, we can see the fight between Samsung and iPhone. But if you can mention Infinix near Samsung, you will feel like you don't have a phone. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but we are just trying to compare. So that's what you should consider in price. How do you price your product, and which particular pricing model do you need to use, and at what particular point? So if you need a serious reward so fast, you can try price beating, maybe with a bob. If you need to set the pace into the price, focus onto your brand. What do people say about my brand? If they think of Telespark, what is coming into their mind? And what will come in my mind when I think of Telespark is what will make me choose Telespark alongside other IT services that are offered out there. And that one is very key. And as you proceed, after you've considered all those, then you know very well that if I start this business, this is what approach I'm going to use. Market is like this. These are sales strategies that I need to use. Then you need to come up with organizational management. Organizational management will come depending again with how big you need this business to go. Because if it's a startup, organizational management here might not be so suitable at the early stages, Sana. Because I understand maybe you are alone, maybe you are one or two, or someone who can remain in the shop when you are running around about some other errands. So it all depends with your ultimate goal. After 5 years, where are you envisioning this particular business? After 10 years, where are you? Which business are you? Are you into the limited? Are you into the business name? So that will make you understand which organizational management you go. And therefore, you only check on the organogram and the management itself. And the organogram is basically the organizational chart of this organization. Let's take hypothetically, though, Telespark, for example. In the next 5 years, it's a big school. In the next 5 years, it's one of the well-registered digital school, or rather. So how is the structure going to look? Or you are the type of CEO that is coming up and you are so rigid, you are not welcoming other ideas. So therefore, I was trying to draw, because I have a technical problem, I was trying to draw an organogram for Telespark that I could have shared. So I'll just mention it. You can have a board of management, therefore, at the top up there. Apple, Chini, second to it is the CEO that reports directly to the board of management. Under the CEO, we can have some other various departments that operates differently. So I was thinking we can have a business department, we can have a digital department, we can have a students department, and the ICT. So I deliberately put digital affairs and the ICT on the same rank intentionally because I thought they could offer different services. So if you take, for example, the business department, of which now we have a departmental head, then under it, there are also some other services that are being offered. For example, the marketing, sales, the masterclass, and what have you. So that's all you should have, and it all depends. It all depends with where you want to take this your business. And again, it all depends with the purpose you need the business plan for. If you need to present it somewhere officially, then you need to have this, regardless of how many people are you in the business. You need to have it because it should be there. But if you need a business plan purposefully for the manual guidance into your business or day-to-day operations, then you can omit that. But in your mind, you have it somewhere that we should have this in a near future. Then management, it involves planning, organizing, and leading to achieve business goals. So these other structures that falls under the departmental management that I was talking about are the managers that will involve into planning. You see, if you are a CEO that listens so well, you are the departmental heads, or rather the managers, will involve into planning. So board of management will come like committee or partners that has shares into this particular business. So they advise the CEO advise the managers, and then the managers can come up with now a day-to-day work plan that guides the entire organization. Then at the ICT, I thought that ICT can report directly to the CEO depending on how sensitive it can get. Yeah, so basically, that's what I thought of an organogram of Telespark, of how it can look, God willing, maybe 10 years from today. Yeah. So the key structure, or rather anatomy, of a business plan, which is very, very fundamental here, is the financial projection, or rather the funding. It's a key part that, or it can sell you well, or it can sell you badly. How do you organize your finances? How well do you organize your finances? So in terms of finances, we can have revenue forecasts, we can have expense projections, and we can have funding requirements. With a keen interest, we can just check a little bit about the expense projections. Expense projections, how much are you spending? How well have you planned your finances? It will depend on at what particular time you collect your returns. For example, we are approaching end month. So the entire sales that happen within the month of October are going to be put together, and therefore you remove your capital. Then you start by considering what matters. You don't get moved so fast with the profit and wewe umepata returns there, and therefore you forget that the business should continue to run regardless. So I wouldn't talk much about financial projection because there is entirely a new session about it, but it's also key because this is where it will convince whoever, if you need this plan for loan, it will convince even the bankers. If you need this plan for grants, sizes you can have grants here 60,000. What will convince them so that they can give you 50,000 to start your business? Because it's just telling us how disciplined are you with your finances and how well orchestrated plan do you have to use this business plan. And therefore, that marks the overview of what a business plan entails and therefore what you can do about it. So maybe if there is another question or concern or a contrary opinion to what we've just shared, I welcome.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for the presentation. I want to take in some questions. I believe that it was very clear, the presentation was very clear, and we've noted down all that we could. Personally, as a person who owns a small business, I've picked a lot from the presentation, and I know now where to begin from and what to correct and how to move forward with the marketing approaches and the sales tactics and even the strategies that Nancy has taken us through. I'll encourage all the participants, if you have any question, kindly drop it on the chat box so that she can attend to each and every question, each and every worry, each and everything that you'd want to be made clear business-wise, so that she may help you solve it or answer the question. If you have any question, you can just drop it. I'll read it out and she'll answer. She'll respond, or rather. Meanwhile, as we do so, I have a question for you, Nancy, that I would really want you to help me. And my first question is, what advice would you give to an on and off business person? Let's say I do business today and then tomorrow I'm not there, or because of reasons that might be so genuine, maybe because of shortage of finances at some point or such. And what would you advise? How should I really come back to the market when now things are better for me?
You see, our dear moderator, this question of yours is asking, or rather addressing two key factors. What are these genuine reasons that makes you to be on and off? Then what causes them?
I just mentioned one, that maybe it's because of the finances. Maybe I'm not in a position to raise it, to get it moving again, because I don't have enough finances to run it over again.
Remember, this is a business that it's ongoing, right? You are not yet to start, but you rather started. You've started and it's moving. So,
yes.
It seems to me ni umekula stock. Maybe at some point there was a financial constraint somewhere, and therefore you had take your hands deep into your business bucket and you chopped off so much. That is, according to my understanding and observations, that is the key factor that makes businesses to go on and off. And that is why nimekuuliza, what is this genuine reason? You've started, remember. It's like you start school and you stop at some point. Why are you stopping? So it seems someone has eaten the stock, and therefore you are not able to get some more finances to add, or rather to expand the business. So that will call for what I talked about earlier about discipline. You either sleep angry today, but you are sure if this business thrive, I'll gonna eat for the rest of my life. So wachana na stock. Just leave the capital. Let me use that word. Leave the capital for this business aside. And if you do that, you will see that the things are moving on. So yes, you better have the stock and incur losses. You will be pained today that you incur losses, but you still have the capitation to go back to the market and add the stock. Are we together? Sometimes your strategies are also poor. Sometimes you're still relying on the outdated skills into the business field. So therefore, upgrade your skills. The key thing, first of all, analyze what causes the on and off. If it's the stock, refrain from it. Wachana na stock. Lala tu njaa leo, kesho amka, enda biashara. But wachana na capitation of the stock. So if you, after analyzing, you realize maybe my game is down, upgrade. Understand. And upgrading comes from your market analysis. Upgrading comes from your marketing, sales, and strategies. Upgrading comes from understanding your customers. It's very important. One of the business guru that I'll not mention once said that one good customer will bring 10 more good customers, but one bad customer will take away 10 more good customers going with them. So it's about your demeanor. How do you present yourself when talking to people? Because business, yourself as the seller, you are the brand. It's like you carry along the. Have you ever seen how front office people are being trained? You have to smile. Even if asubuhi ulikwazana kwa nyumba yako huko, you have to smile. Put that smiling face, because you're carrying the entire organization in your back. So whatever I feed people is what will go outside there as Jedida business. Hii biashara hapa waongeleshi watu vizuri. I'm not going there. Upgrade. I think I've answered you intensively, unless you have another concern.
The point is, and thank you so much for the response.
Thank you.
Dave is requesting to bring up his question on the mic. Dave, you're welcome to post your question as Nancy answers.
Now, I had two. One, very quick. One, you want to do a plan. At the incubation point, is it proper you start by analyzing the market first, then you sit down, write the plan, or you incubate your business idea, sit down, write the plan, then go and analyze a suitable market for such? Then question two is about the plan itself. You have the plan well written down, maybe for a year or for 5 years. As the business continues to run, due to other external factors or even internal, you realize that should you move along with the plan, then there'll be a total loss. Is it normal or advisable at a point to deviate away from the plan?
Thank you very much, David. Those are very key areas to consider. Number one, you have to know what you want to offer in the market, whether it's a product-based or a service-based. Then which area? If it's a product-based, which area? Is it a general shop? Is it supplies? What? Just have a rough idea of what you want to do. It can be based on interest somehow, or if you just wake up from somewhere and think that I should have a business, then I'll tell you, go and analyze the market, then come back with the feedback. If you just wake up out of the blues and say, I need a business, go and analyze what is missing there, because what is missing there is what you are going to bridge the gap. That is the gap you're going to bridge. What is missing? Because at the end of the day, we need good returns. So you cannot just wake up today and tomorrow you have a shop, the same shop where your neighbor is having. Clash. So if you wake up today, go and analyze the business, come and have your plan. But if you have interest is different, because interest is the motivating factor that will keep you along regardless of whatever you're going to experience. That will be my approach to it. If you say you have a business plan that was drawn maybe 5 years ago, 5 years ago is long overdue, my friend, because the world is evolving so fast and a lot of things are changing. So always keep track of your business plan and be resilient as much as possible, because you might think this would work, but in the reality, it's not working. So go back there and plan what suits, adjust your plan, what suits the current market. You can have this plan maybe 5 years ago, as you've said. You thought that you want to have a sweater shop somewhere. But at the point you'll be financially stable to start that particular shop, it's now a rainy season that will sell. What of if it's a sunny season? Will people buy? So which means your plan has a miss somewhere. Adjust according to the market industry now. I hope you get me so well. Someone is having a question in the chat box. Is that okay, David? Amaya, I leave you at some point.
Yes, thank you. I'm okay.
Yeah, we have someone here, team management. What should a business owner think about when choosing people to help run the business well without being misled with different factors, e.g. ethnicity? Number one thing for me here, ethnicity is out of the picture completely, because at the end of the day, we are all human. Kuna some behaviors you cannot tie up into a certain tribe or something. It's just a personal behavior that someone has. So regardless of a Luya, Kikuyu, Mzungu, Mnani, it's a personal behavior. So analyze. Number one thing, you should check on the skills. If this business is an eatery, for example, and you have a waiter there who has a background in engineering, they're not going to help you. They're there to waste your time because they're there to mark time as they look some other places. But if you have someone who is well oriented in the particular business, they can choose to be there. Number one thing is for the returns, of course, you're going to pay them. Secondly, is they're also learning. So they can be there for too long. And again, there is nothing good as keeping your suppliers, or let me just use the word shareholders, as long as you can, because then you have an open mind enough that when you have a meeting, you also welcome the experience. Remember, you can be there as the boss, but they're here at the tail end. So what they're experiencing, you might not get. So my advice would be choose someone who has a background on the specific area you want to handle. Maybe you can check on the experience level, depending on what we want to offer, because experience level will come with a lot of burden in it. So you can check that. You can also, as you interact with them, you can also gauge their interests. How long can we have such a person? And the key thing to note also, maintain your staffs as long as you can. Will also help you to know the seriousness. For example, Baba had just mentioned he had his bodyguard for 18 years. Why? Maybe because of the relationship, maybe because of the good returns, and maybe because of the good skills the person had. That would be my take. Thank you. Any more?
Nancy, I would like to ask you another question that bothers me. If I'm starting up a business, a small business, how should my business plan look like in terms of money, budgeting, and so on? Like, should I focus on what I have now, or I should focus on the bigger dream and the bigger picture of how big the business should be in years to come? Should I draw a plan that focuses on what I have now, or something that focuses on what I want to have?
Thank you. Can I ask you a question on the same?
Yes.
If you want to get to 18th floor of a story building and you are at the ground floor, how are you going to reach there?
I have to climb.
Will you jump and reach at the 18th floor at once?
No.
You'll have to take one step at a time, right?
Sure.
The same approach applies. And let me give you a vivid example. You know of KFC?
Yes.
How did KFC started? It began with the guy selling fries at the roadside, right? In 1930s, if I'm not wrong. After 9 years, the guy expanded the market and started having some spices onto the chips he was selling, right? Upon the taste of which now that is the unique selling proposition I was talking about. Upon the taste of how people were reacting to the particular chips he was selling, he said, yes, good. I have already identified the brand. What happened next? The next branch was opened at around 1950 in which was the first country to have its KFC being franchised? Was it Turkey or somewhere? Thereabout. Yeah, USA in 1952. So it started in 1930 by this guy selling chips at the roadside. By 1939, according to how market was responding to it, he started to adding some flavors. Then it gave him a brand. Then he said, yes, this thing can work. And that's how we having KFC in Kenya today. How did this guy started? Maybe he had a plan of maybe having an hotel. And the market responded so positively to it. And therefore he went overboard of what he had in mind. So my take would be this. have the bigger dream. Maintain the focus. If you'd one day want to have maybe attires, maybe for example, Jade's collection, start small, but at no point should you derail your direction. Maintain the focus and be disciplined. Just say, today I'm starting with online. Tomorrow I blend online and physical. Not necessarily tomorrow, but maybe after 2 years, I blend the online and the physical location. After another 3 years, I should have Nairobi operating, I should have Kisumu operating. Before you know it, you are already in all over Kenya. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for the clarity. If anyone else has a question, then can come in so that we may take the last bit of questions, and then I'll welcome back to take it over and wrap it up. And if there's no any other question, allow me bring in the CEO Telespark Digital to take it over with the final remarks, and we shall have called it a session. Thank you so much, Nancy, for such a good session that you brought to us. We've learned and we really appreciate for the time that you've had with us and just to enlighten us on business ideas and the plans.
Thank you. I also appreciate equally for listening.
Reynard Bonke, you can come in kindly.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. Make use of the emojis and the reactions. Let's put hands together for them. Thank you very much. Keep celebrating them, appreciate them. Yes, so as we draw this to a close, I want to appreciate everyone for joining. First and foremost, to our speaker, thank you for the great presentation and the insightful remarks that you made during this session. Thank you, the leader, for moderating. And to you all our participants for making time to join. Yeah, we are so much grateful. We intend to do these webinars again and again. And we believe that as we keep on moving, we'll gain great insights that will not only sound good to our ears, but become transformative nuggets that will shape our businesses and our ideas so that we can do business better for greater gain. So I'm grateful. Keep an eye on our upcoming updates in the group. We'll be updating more information in the group, and we believe that you'll create time again and join. So next week we'll be having a session, and I will we'll forward the details soon in the group so that you can join in. Thank you very much for having created time to join, and share this word with your friends and colleagues. Tell them we are building a community of business professionals. Telespark Academy is out to build a community of business professionals and to train individuals and to enable them acquire skills that can benefit them in the market. So just to give you a glimpse of what our next steps look like is that we are soon going to to launch our first course in graphic design. And if you're interested to join in, please, in the community, there are smaller groups. So you'll find a group there written graphics design. You can join that small group and you will be able to receive updates as regards to the upcoming sessions that we'll be holding for that specific class. So in short, we are building a business professional school to equip business people, the youth, leaders, and entrepreneurs with skills that can enable them function in the market. Secondly, we want to bring our heads together as industry experts, captains of industries, leaders in the business field, NGO leaders, and entrepreneurs. And we want to create a community, a network of entrepreneurs so that we can coexist and we can benefit from a lot of things, including sharing opportunities, referral programs, and much more. So stick around, and we hope to build this together. We can't do it on our own, and we believe we can do it when we collectively join our hands together. So thank you very much for joining. We will share this recording with you later. You can watch it. If in case you missed last week's session and you want to catch up with what was covered, head over to our YouTube channel and you'll be able to find the recording there and watch, and we will appreciate. Thank you very much, and thank you for having joined. Bye.